Hey, so I thought this would be easier to make a video instead of try to type out a message. This is the item activity report. You can find this on Signal under reports and then item activity report, and then you set the dates you filter it to end of month, and this one is for the end of month for August, and you organize it by category, and then you print this out. So that's where I got this. The reason I'm pulling this up is because I want people who are either ordering truck or people are going to learn how to order truck or who do inventory counts to better understand what this report is, what it's for, and what we're looking at it for. So the way it works is you have your item, your unit of measure, which just tells you how it's measured. So this is 8 half-gallon bags. The cost for a unit of measure, so a case costs $93.62. Then you have the beginning of the end of month count from the end of July. You have the ending inventory count from the end of August, so it's just the month of August. But then you have purchases in, which is 73, any credits, any transfers in, any transfers out. That's if we were borrowing or lending, and then the ending inventory. So this one's pretty simple. We just purchased 73 cases. So according to what we counted and what was the ending inventory, the actual usage was 74 cases. So when this says theoretical usage over here, the theoretical usage comes from what's called the recipe. So every time you press a button in the POS or you put an order in the mobile app, there's a recipe associated to every single one of those items. So if I order a frosted lemonade, it says, okay, well, part of that frosted lemonade is going to be lemon juice, and it will calculate what amount of lemon juice is sold in that. So the theoretical usage is the recipe. It also gives us a little bit of margin for waste, so keep that in mind as well. They give us a little bit extra. Then you have the variance. So the variance is the difference between what we actually used, what we purchased, and the theoretical usage. So we were supposed to have this in theory according to what we sold, but instead we had this number. So there's a difference there. The variance is 8.23 cases, which is quite a bit. So then you go to waste. The reason there's a difference between variance and waste is they're really the exact same thing. It's just that one is tracked and one is not tracked. Then you get denied credits, which is like waste that we tried to get money for, but that they wouldn't let us. And then you have missing quantity. So the missing quantity is just the difference between variance and waste. So if we wasted out a case of lemon juice, then this missing quantity would be 7.23 instead of 8.23 because we would have tracked a case of it. So now you have this missing cost, this $770. This is just taking the item cost from over here and multiplying it times what is missing. So this is how you figure out where a lot of our waste is going in the restaurant. And they actually order it by category, but then they also order it from the most expensive to the least expensive. So if I scroll down, let me do it this way. It's a little glitchy. So this is all beverages, and as I go down, you actually have some stuff like orange juice, where it says we have negative missing quantity. So that could mean that either waste was really good, and that the recipe is a little off. More than likely, it just means that we miscounted. Yeah, so you gotta keep an eye out on those. When you're looking at the food cost gap report, which I'll show eventually, it actually does not include these numbers. It would just count this as 0 and take everything and sum it all up, but ignore the negatives. So if I'm trying to make a positive improvement to food waste, it is a good idea to start with our greatest dollar amount of food waste. So this one, for instance, we wasted $770 worth of lemon juice, which is quite a lot of money. You could do a lot with 770 bucks. Now, what's alarming to me is if this waste would have said eight cases, then this would be almost 0. So that means that we're not even tracking it. So I don't want there to be any waste because it's bad either way. But I would prefer that if we are going to waste something that we track it so that we know where it's going. So I want to use a different example. If I scroll down past beverages and we go to other food, we have macaroni and cheese. And this one's even a higher dollar amount. We have over $900 worth of missing costs. So just starting from the beginning again, mac and cheese, the unit of measure is 4 5-pound bag cases. The unit cost for each case is $36. We started at the end of month count in July, and then we ended in the end of month count in August. That was the whole month of August. We purchased 188 cases. There were no transfers in, no transfers out. Our usage, which is what we counted at the end, was 182. So there's a difference between what we purchased and what we actually used. So that was our actual usage. And then our theoretical usage was 157. Okay, so according to the recipe and what we sold, what we typed in the POS, it should be 157, but we actually used 182. So the difference between those two is 25.04 cases. 25 cases of mac and cheese. So you take that times $36, and that's easily going to get you to that 900. We did waste some out, which is encouraging with the 0.04, but it doesn't even come close to bringing that number down. So what does this tell us? Like, what are you supposed to do with this information, right? So an easy conclusion to make from this is we're overportioning mac and cheese, which is probably true. So that I would take this information and say, what do we do with this? Okay, well, we need to go back to the training stages. Maybe we need to be weighing out mac and cheese and making sure it's exactly the ounces that it's supposed to be. I think that's a great place to start. From an inventory perspective, a couple other things I want to bring attention to is, am I counting it correctly at end of month? So this actual usage, the ending inventory and the ending inventory in July, is that number actually correct? Was it counted correctly? Were all the transfers documented? Was there a transfer that didn't get documented? Is there more waste that need to be documented that was never tracked? All these things. So these things, this is not one conclusion that one person makes from any of these. It's a report, and you can glean from it what you need to know. But all in all, the hope is that you look at this report and you discover, okay, what are some ways we can reduce waste and be good stewards of what we have. So let me see if there's any other ones that stand out. Coder's really high on here. It's $2,000 of missing coder cost. We did waste some of it out, but not nearly enough. And we did transfer one out. So I would encourage you to pull up one of these reports and just browse through it and see if you can make some observations. I would take a highlighter and highlight some things that stand out. Do a little bit of math. The way I look at these is I put like a plus or a minus symbol in the different spots. So like where it says missing quantity, I usually put like an equals there, and then between variance and waste, I'll put like a minus, because the missing quantity is the variance minus the waste. And again, variance is waste. It's just waste that has not been measured. So it's arguably worse. Hence why that missing quantity uses that number. So, okay, well, I could talk about this for a bunch, but I'm going to leave it at that. Try to keep this under 10 minutes. And if anyone finds this useful, I'm glad. So, yeah, that's it. Watch this video, learn some stuff, make some observations, and hopefully we can reduce the amount of waste we produce in the restaurant. Thanks, guys.